evening to all of you. Thank you for taking out time, to dial in for the session and to register for this session. I'll quickly get my screen, share my screen. Give me a thumbs up if you're able to see my screen. Awesome. All
Vinay, it's
right.
not in full screen at this point of time.
It's not in full screen. Okay. Do you see the slide now? Sorry about that.
Vinay, we can see the slides. When you present it, we are able to see the presenter notes also. If that is okay with you, you can continue with that.
All right. Let me remove my screen. This should be fine.
Yeah, perfect.
Awesome. All right. Sorry about that, guys. So, quick introduction about myself. So, Yogi's kind of covered that almost. I'm Vinay. I'm a part of the talent acquisition team here at LinkedIn, based out of Bangalore. Been with LinkedIn for close to about 3 years now. Prior to LinkedIn, I come with about close to a decade of experience into recruiting, talent acquisition, leadership hiring. So, worked with prior to LinkedIn, again, worked with some of the tier one companies, which includes Amazon, Flipkart, Walmart, eBay, hired for these kind of companies. My LinkedIn journey started in Jan 2019. What do I do at LinkedIn? I take care of the product and business recruiting here. And outside of my work, again, try and contribute to the Quora community. So I try and be active on the Quora platform. I got pets at home, so I have a pair of cockatiels, so I kind of spend time with them over the weekend. Apart from that, love to try food. So I am a foodie, but again, with the lockdown scenarios, not being able to try a lot of cuisines outside, but yes, try and keep up with that. All right, so we will quickly get started on this session, which is LinkedIn for students, and we will talk about how to effectively build your network and advance your career on LinkedIn. Let's quickly take a look at the agenda for today evening. We're going to talk about what LinkedIn is. Of course, most of you, I believe, would be on LinkedIn and would be somewhat familiar with what LinkedIn is all about, but we'll still take a look at it. We will learn about how do you define your professional brand. We will talk about building your LinkedIn profile, which we call it as a here internally with LinkedIn, we call it as Rock Your Profile. So we do a lot of Rock Your Profile sessions. So it's a part of a similar initiative. We will talk about how to expand and build your professional network. We will also talk about how do you leverage your network on LinkedIn and connect to right opportunities or relevant opportunities. Most importantly, we're also going to learn about how to search for those right jobs. The next few weeks you would land into internship, or you would have to start your professional career. So we will look into how can you leverage the platform to search those right jobs with the companies that you follow or the companies that you aspire to work for. And the last segment, which is extra credits, so that's a little bit surprise for all of you guys. We will talk about it as we head in there. So let's get started. What do you do on social media? As I said, I am a foodie. I love to try different cuisines. So we all love food. Most of us, let's assume most of us love food, love desserts, love sweets. And what do you do on social media? You go ahead and post. I love donuts. I eat donuts. I am enjoying donuts with my friends. Right? Here's a donut recipe that you share. I am listening to a donut song while having donuts. These are the different ways you express your your feelings about how happy you are about having that donut or having donut in that particular moment, right? But do you think this is something you would want to post on LinkedIn? Let's think about it. What makes LinkedIn different? Being in the space of social media, why is LinkedIn different? Because LinkedIn is a professional networking platform, and the members on LinkedIn bring in a professional mindset. Hence, it becomes very important. So let's look at how this shift in the mindset would have, how the shift will happen. We're talking about donuts. So what can I go ahead and post about donuts? I operate a donut franchisee. I'm looking for let's say a donut company to work for because I am super enthused about donuts. My top skills includes donut production and sales, increasing donut production and sales. And I would love to, show or present my recommendations from my former donut colleagues, right? So this is where your LinkedIn or your professional mindset comes in, and this is how you present yourself on LinkedIn. We will talk about more of it. Let's progress further and talk about building your professional network and connecting to the right opportunity. So here is a quick glance for you, some of the numbers to look for you. Right now at LinkedIn, we are sitting at about more than 750 million plus members across the globe. And LinkedIn is present across 200 countries, 200 plus countries. There are around 2.9 million groups on LinkedIn, which gives you an ample opportunity to be a part of these groups or follow these groups essentially, right? There are around 50 million plus employers on LinkedIn. And each of these employers have the right set of jobs being posted, which again puts you in a situation wherein you have ample number of jobs you could land into. This is a quick sneak into the data. Let's also take a moment to learn about some of the terms that we will use today. So I just want you all to be a little familiar with with what a workforce means, or a connection mean, or a network or a referral would mean in the context of LinkedIn.com. So workforce is nothing but people who are currently working and available to work. So they are a set of employed folks with certain set of a company. It could be an NGO, it could be any sort of an organization. So they all are a part of the existing global workforce. Connections, say I connect with someone and I am connected with say 100 people in my network, which means that my connection includes 100. I am a part of my connections has 100 people, right? So which means I am directly connected with someone. So your contacts on LinkedIn are known as connections. Network is nothing but it's a connected community of people. It's a larger way to visualize. So a network is nothing but think of it like we talked about 750 million plus members on the platform. All of this global community forms a network. Now it might not be possible, practically it's not always possible for someone to connect with all of the workforce or all of the network, but you are some way connected in a network of within the network of your connections. And finally, referral. So it's all about referral is also one of the feature which we will cover it a little later when we talk about exploring jobs or searching for jobs on the platform. All right, let's learn about how do we define your professional brand. Now, when you come to LinkedIn, when you are on, when you, so LinkedIn is nothing but it is your digital representation of who you are, right? This LinkedIn gives you an ample opportunity to represent yourself. What should people know you for? Let's say if I am connected to someone, or if someone wishes to connect with me, what am I known for, right? So in my context, I could be known for, let's say, I am someone who is great to network with, right? I am someone who could help someone land into a good opportunity, right? So that's the way how I define, or how my professional brand is defined on LinkedIn, right? So let's talk a little bit more about what do you have to basically understand when it comes to about defining your own brand. What is something that you should know about it, right? What is something that you should really call it out in your LinkedIn profile, so that someone who is a new, let's say if I get to visit your profile for the first time, what is something which could really attract my attention? And that is exactly what we call it as brand, right? So you can shape your brand by the way you present yourself to others. Is nothing but that itself defines your brand. Now it's it is something that I would love for you to kind of think about when you are when you're really customizing or spending time on your LinkedIn profile, it's not something that you need to think in the moment and put it up on your platform. Take time, think about what would people want, what you want people to know about you. Are you someone who's great at coding, right? So how can that become a part of your introduction or your personal brand? Are you someone who loves economics and could present some great insights, right? How can that be a part of your self brand? So this is your way, this is your opportunity, this is an opportunity for you to present yourself, right? The value of your brand, why does it become very, very important, right? Number one, as I mentioned, it's nothing but your digital identity. So you are creating your identity on the platform. Any employer, let's say you aspire to be a product manager. Let's say while you are looking forward to start your professional career, say for example, you want to become a good product, you aspire to become a good product manager, or let's say you aspire to become someone who is a great marketer. And let's say an employer is looking to hire someone, someone who's fresh out of college for their product teams. So how does this employer understand that you could be the right fit or you could be the potential fit? Now, this is where your personal brand comes in. How you express yourself, how you present yourself, is that which will attract the employer. What can they expect from you, right? How do you stand unique, right? How what makes you different from, say, there could be, say for example, just take a random example from your college. There could be, say, 100 folks who are graduating from your college, and say all of them could be from computer science or information science or say electronics background, right? So what makes you different, what makes you unique, right? What is something that will make you stand out from, say, rest of your peers or rest of your colleagues, right? So that is where the power of brand comes in. How could you showcase that you are the right choice? Of course, you need to call out your brand includes your skills, your how are you able to network, and the area of information, then the area of expertise that you provide, which is an additional information about yourself. So skills could include your specific skills. Say for example, I talked about your great interest in coding, right? Or your great interest in economics, and how do you bring those relevant insights about, say, you could be someone who could be someone who's very great at presenting data driven insights, right? So are you someone who's a data enthusiast? If yes, then how do you present it, right? What kind of an information are you presenting it around your data driven mindset, your data enthusiast? As a data enthusiast, what are some of the projects that you have done, right, which could bring in a lot of value, a lot of recognition to you? Now these all basically is nothing but creating your self brand on LinkedIn, right? I talked about the values, the things that are important to you, and
Uh, Vinay, I think Vinay is frozen. Everyone else also is feeling that way. Is the screen frozen? Okay. Cool. There's a slight glitch. So let's just wait for like a couple of seconds for Vinay to rejoin. In the meanwhile, I know many of you have questions about LinkedIn. So one of the things I would request all of you to do is there is an option called Q&A. So use that to please mention all your questions on the Q&A tab so that we will be able to pick these questions up and get them answered. I think Vinay will just join in a couple of minutes. I think the network glitched and then he's dropped off from the meeting due to internet. So he'll just join back quickly. In the meanwhile, whatever questions you have, whatever doubts you have, please understand one thing. We have taken a lot of effort to get the right person to help you understand from a HR's perspective to give you how to build your LinkedIn profile, right? So whatever questions you have, make sure all your questions, all your doubts are clarified in this session. Avesh is checking with, yeah, Vinay is back online. Just give him a couple of seconds to log in. So whatever questions, whatever doubts, don't hesitate, don't hold back. please put it in the Q&A tab. Hey, Vinay, 1 second, Vinay. I'm just making you the co-host so you're able to share the screen and start the video. Vinay, are you able to hear us? Yeah, guys, one thing is recordings might be provided. Don't worry about it, but please be attentive on a live session. Live is where you will learn a lot more than a recorded session.
Cool. Thanks so much. So sorry about all the technical difficulties. So I think we're living up with in the virtual world with all these. But yes, thanks so much for waiting. I'll quickly share my screen. All right. So I think we were, talking about what essentially helps you identify your personal brand or helps you create your personal brand on LinkedIn. So these were some of the, I would say, the values or the skills which you could call out in your LinkedIn profile, and that will continue to ensure that you stand unique. Your profile stands unique, and amongst the workforce again, you stand unique. Let's move forward, and now we will talk about creating or building your LinkedIn profile. A quick activity, just a 30 seconds activity I just wanted to do with all of you. Go ahead and pop it up in the chat. Three words which your friends would use to describe you. uh, Remember, while you're doing this, think of what could be your professional brand, and what are those three words your friends or say your coworkers would use to describe you. Think of it more from a professional brand perspective. We'll do this for quick 30 seconds, and then we'll quickly get started. All right, someone, Yogi says marketing partnerships connector. That's great.
Just as
Web,
an example, throwing it up.
absolutely. Great personality. All right. Okay. Web, okay. Creative, helpful, hardworking. That's nice. That's very good. Good leadership, professional, tech savvy, linguistic, problem solving. That's amazing, Tejas. Data science, teaching, honesty. Okay. Hardworking, creative, HR skills. That's good. That's good. Motivating, helpful, flexible. That's good. Good communication. Designer, coder, techie. All right. Diligent, dedicatedness. Awesome, guys. That's very helpful. I think you guys are getting in there, and by the time we finish this session, you will become pro at creating your LinkedIn profile. So let's move further, and we'll talk about building your LinkedIn profile. So obviously it starts with setting up your accounts, and to do that you could always go to linkedin.com on your browser, or you could download the same from your app store or from your Google Play Store. Now, let's talk about LinkedIn profile and how is it different from resume. Well, when I was a student, someone told me, hey, you know what, to create your LinkedIn profile is as good as just go ahead and copy paste your resume. It's not. It's not the same. So I want you guys to understand that profile versus resume are not same. So your LinkedIn profile is nothing but, I'll again bring back my words, it's a digital representation of your identity. And while you are on the platform, your LinkedIn profile allows all the employers to look into your LinkedIn profile or understand what is something that what are your skills or what is something unique about you. Whereas your resume is very targeted. If you wish to send your resume to 10 employers of your choice, those are the only 10 eyes which will look into your resume. Whereas that's not the same with LinkedIn profile. I could go up and look up to up to the LinkedIn profile of members whom I'm not even connected into. So I could look into someone who is a second degree connection or the third degree connection. Now, what is a second or a third degree connection? I'll cover it in the later slides, and you'll have ample understanding about what does a second degree connection or a third degree connection means. But I want you to understand here is that a LinkedIn profile is not a copy paste of your resume. LinkedIn profile talks gives you is an opportunity for all your potential employers to understand about your skills. It goes more details about your interests, your certifications, and lot more. It also includes your recommendations, your endorsements on certain skills, right? So you could have include certain recommendations from your professors or from from employers, or let's say from some of the employers where you guys would have done your internships, right? So your mentors could recommend you, and these become your added your added these are a ways to improve your brand or improve your presence on LinkedIn. Some we'll talk about some of the do's and don'ts. Take a great photo. I will call out a couple of recommendations here. Always use a sober background or a neutral background. Do not use very colorful or very bright colors as your background, because that doesn't give a good view into your profile picture. Dress, yes, obviously bring carry, dress up for the job that you want. It is recommended, but I would always recommend up to, dress up something which you can carry, which you are comfortable with. Always smile. Yes, that is very, very important. Have a very, always carry a smile, have a very friendly expression. Make sure that your face is very visible, right? It shouldn't be, so your photo, your picture shouldn't look like as if, you've cropped something. Make sure it's very it's very visible on and on your LinkedIn profile picture. Why do I say that? Why is it so important? Why am I talking so much about the importance of having a great photo? Our data team suggests that members with profile photos receive up to 21x more views and up to 9x more connection requests. Now, what does that mean? This is an opportunity for you. This is a great opportunity for you to expand your network, right? And hence it becomes very, very important that you have a great profile picture. Do not put in photos wherein you are standing in groups of your friends or colleagues. It should be your individual photo. Always have a carry a smile, and that's where it brings up a great LinkedIn profile photo, right? These are a few other ways how you could continue to edit your profile, your update your profile. Add your location. Always make sure that your location is updated. For example, if you go and visit my LinkedIn profile, it says Bangalore throughout the job. Throughout my career, it says Bangalore. It becomes very, very important for someone to really understand what is your current location. Say, for example, if your college is based out of, it could be based out of any location here in in India, across India. It's very important that you mention the right location. What is the kind of education? What is your current education? Are you an undergraduate? Are you pursuing your masters? Are you doing your PhD? Right? It's very, very important to include your education. Extremely important to include your work and internship experience. I'm very sure that by your by the end of your, say, your 6 semesters or your early 7 semesters, you guys would have completed your internship, right? Bring out your internship experience. What projects did you do, right? Was this, someone talked about being a great coder, someone talked about being a web developer. So what were these projects? What kind of technologies did you use, right? Was this something like a customer based project, customer based role? What was it all about? Help help someone who could come and visit your profile, learn about what was your internship all about. Your skills, it's very, very important, right? What could be your skills? I talked about data, I talked about coding. So there are like so many ways you could include. There are so many skills you could include in a LinkedIn profile. Not just about coding. It could be soft skills as well. It could be around project management. It could be about business development. It could be about customer engagement, right? There are n number of skills that you could bring up to your platform on your LinkedIn profile. um Another recommendation here is, while you are updating your education, your and certifications, or let's say your grads, your postgrads or masters, on the profile, LinkedIn always gives you an opportunity to select from the drop down. Now, why do I recommend that? While you do that, say for example, if let's take an example of any university. Let's take an example of my university. I am from Visvesvaraya Technological University. I completed my grads in 2012. So I go ahead and put my university, which is VTU. And while I do that, LinkedIn gives me a drop down. Now it becomes very, very important to select from the drop down, because while you do that, you are actually connecting yourself to, you are actually enrolling for yourself to be connected with your alumni network. which means when you select from the drop down of LinkedIn recommendation, you will become a part of that network, VTU, Vishwesvaraya Technological University network, right? And that is why we recommend to do that. A little bit more about how you could, put up your headline. The headline is all about it. It needs to be very brief. Of course, we recommend not to, write a lot or a very lengthy headline, but anything it could be. It could be as simple as a coffee lover. It could be as simple as if you go ahead and look into again my link. I'll go ahead with an example of my own LinkedIn profile. So I write about I am a talent advisor at LinkedIn. I am a Rock Your Profile ambassador here in India. So it could be very, very simple. You could go ahead and write about, a data-driven enthusiast. You could write about an aspiring, as simple as an aspiring product manager or an aspiring marketeer. So this is the way how you basically call out your, you include your headline. So anything, so a couple of things you should remember while including your headline, like, does this represent your professional brand? Is this something that can really catch the attention of an employer? Say if I'm an employer, I'm looking to hire, say for example, someone who could be a great product analyst, right, to start with, or a business analyst to start off. What are few things that you would want me what are those few things that you would like to include in a profile which could really attract my attention on your profile, right? So what are the skills required for a business analyst? One, extremely good with customer. So someone who should be very, very obsessed about customer, someone who talks about customer first value, someone who is a very data driven person. So you could bring up your headline saying, a customer oriented professional and a data driven enthusiast. Now, this is something which could really, really attract my attention because I'm looking to hire someone who's a business analyst, right? This was just a quick example. We will talk more about it. We will walk you through, we'll take you through the platform, at a later stage. This is again, I talked about, calling out. This is basically nothing but the summary section of your profile. So right after you have updated your profile picture, you have updated your headline, the first section of your LinkedIn profile is the profile summary. So summary is the best place for you to communicate about your professional brand, who you are, what do you love to do outside of work, or what is something that keeps you excited, what are your interests, what are your what are you passionate about, right? Like I if you go ahead and read my summary, I have put it up as simple as, I'm a chai lover because I love tea. So I could just keep it, that is something I could include it in my profile summary, right? So you could also include a couple of sentences about what your future goals are. How do you, how would you like to engage with someone? What would you love to do outside of work? For example, I love to engage with my Quora community, so that's also included on my LinkedIn profile summary. So again, take a step back. I do not want you all to kind of immediately think in the moment and update your LinkedIn profile summary. This is something you could always think about. Take time, talk to yourself, think about what is something that describes you, what is something that can really help an employer attract or gain attention to your LinkedIn profile, right? Which could help you land in an extremely great opportunity, right? So that is nothing but your profile summary. Let's talk about building a professional network. I just want to take a pause for a minute to see if we have any questions that we want to cover, Yogi.
Just 1 second, Vinay.
Sure. Or do we do the questions in the end?
I think that would be better towards
okay,
the.
Sure. All right, cool. I am not able to look into the chats because so I would request everyone to keep their questions to the end of the session, and not pop it up right now in the chat because they might get lost into the conversations. So I will take all those questions in the end. So we will move further. We'll talk about building a professional network. So what does this mean? In a simple way, it's all about how do you continue to grow on LinkedIn. So when I say grow on LinkedIn, it's as good as expanding your connections, following your employers, following your potential employers whom you want to work with in future, growing your connections, having meaningful conversations on the platform, connecting with people. So these are all ways of building your professional networking on the platform, right? A quick fact, which is again from our data team, 50% of the hires result from a personal connection, which means that every time you expand or you connect with new members on the platform, it's very important to ask yourself that how could really, these connections help me in the long run in my career. Think of it more from, from a perspective of how this would really help you advance your career or help you grow your, while you are looking forward to grow your, your network, how would this really help you? Now, a little beginning of the session, we talked about network, and I talked about the first degree connections, second degree connections, and third degree connections. This is a very simple representation of what does a first degree connection mean. It's as good as someone whom you're connected with. So if I'm connected, say if there are 500 members in my connections, and I could message or talk to them on the platform, which means they are all a part of my first degree connection. So they are directly connected with me on the platform. Second degree connections, which is basically nothing but the outer circle here that you see, is someone that who is a part of your network, but you might not be connected with this person directly. Rather, there could be someone in your network who would be connected with this person, and hence is he or she is a part of your second degree connection, right? So which means, let's say you have a question, how do I reach out to a person X who is in my second degree connection? Go ahead and send a connection request. Yes, very important. Call out the reason, why do you wish to connect with this person, right? Say, for example, if I am a part of your second degree connection and you wish to connect with me, just put up a simple a couple of sentences as to why do you wish to connect with me, right? um, this gives an opportunity for me to learn about why do you wish to connect with me, and will be very helpful in this in future conversations. And this is nothing but your third degree connections, right? So basically the first, second, and the third, which is the outermost circle, all of these forms the networking here at LinkedIn. Now, what is the third degree connection? Folks who are a part of your larger networking circle, right? So they definitely might not be connected with you. So they are basically so think of it more from a network within, outside of your network, is nothing but your third degree connection, right? Now, I talked about sending out an invite. Let's say, again, going by an example, say I'm a part of your second degree connection, which means I'm not connected with you, and you wish to connect with me, of course. Say, for example, you want to connect with me to learn around, say, what are some of the best hiring practices that we have at LinkedIn. So all you have to do while sending out an invitation to me is put up a simple message saying, hey, Vinay, I want to connect with you to learn around the best hiring practices that LinkedIn has, and which could help me land into a great opportunity at LinkedIn, or any of my potential, or any of my top employers which I wish to work for, right? So this could be a very simple messaging, and that will help me gain an understanding of what is your motive to connect with me. And it is a good conversation starter. Rather than if you just go ahead and hit a send invitation, the response could be either ways, because it all depends on the person that you're sending out an invitation to, right? Now, LinkedIn, when you are on the platform gives you recommendations to expand your network. So basically, all the folks who would be a part of your network, say from your contacts, from your mobile contacts, or from your Gmail contacts, or from your alumni contacts, or say from your from your school alumni contacts, right? There will be different suggestions that you would see on linkedin.com, right? So when you go into the connections tab, connections tab on LinkedIn, and you scroll down, you will see a lot of recommendations. Now, why does LinkedIn give you these recommendations? Because these are the people you may already know from your network, who could be a part of your current or former colleagues, or a current or former managers, or your previous employers, friends, or family, right? So these are the recommendations which LinkedIn gives you as a platform. So which means that it's an opportunity for you again to really look into how would you want to grow your professional network again on the platform. So people you may know, other ways, is one of the way that LinkedIn helps you expand your LinkedIn network. These are this is one way how you could essentially look into the connections. Say, for example, if you're looking for a company, say, for example, you're looking for any company, just take an example of, say, Salesforce, right? Salesforce, let's say you want to look into who are some of the connections, right? So this is one quick way to look into who are the people in your second degree of connections whom you would want to connect with, of course. And again, when you connect with them, do send out a note, do include a note in the invitation. Again, sending invitations, we recommend that you always add a personalized message. The example that I gave you, you want to connect with Vinay and to learn about the hiring practices. So hence call it out. It becomes very easy for me to understand why do you connect with me? Why do you want to connect with me? And will always be a good conversation starter for the future, right? Um, Expanding your network. Who should you reach out to LinkedIn? What should you say? Well, it all depends on you. How do you wish to connect with? Like, for example, right now, I always look forward to connect with my professors, right, from my engineering or from my MBA. Why do I do that? Because there are certain because I am in a part of the HR team. There are certain times wherein I need to look into. I work on the problems which are very people oriented, and it becomes sometimes very, very important to really go into the basics of understanding as to how do you really solve for problems which could be related around solving for an organization or solving for people in the business, right? So I feel that there is an opportunity for me to connect with my professors and kind of learn from them, right? So that could be my sole purpose of how would I want to, or who would I want to rather reach out on LinkedIn outside of the professionals that I continue to hire for. So here's one thing: I connect with professionals whom I'm currently recruiting for LinkedIn, and outside of that, I wish to also connect with the professors. Now that's the other side of my how I wish to grow my network, right? Because I want to be in touch with my professors. That's a very simple example that I'm trying to give you. um, Now, let's talk about the power of LinkedIn as to how can you use your network on LinkedIn and land or connect to the right set of opportunities or explore the right set of opportunities, right? A quick fact again, LinkedIn members are 4x more likely to get hired when they are referred, which means, and this is not just in the context of LinkedIn, just to clarify, this is not the data that I'm talking about right now is just not for the context of LinkedIn, but it is a global workforce data, right? Which means that outside of LinkedIn also, if you're referred by any from anyone in your network, there are 4x more chances that you actually get hired when you're referred for a particular X, Y, or a Z organization of your choice. Here's a quick video. I would love for you guys to kind of watch this 30 seconds video, and then we will talk more about it. So I'll play this. I'll play this video.
The day I graduated, I moved to New York. I had zero connections, and as positive as I was trying to be, nothing was happening. So I went on LinkedIn. I connected with someone who introduced me to my boss. That's how I got to the trading floor. When I first got the job, I was the only female on the floor. I get to represent so many girls. I'm in it to change the game.
Right. So this is one of the personal stories shared by one of the LinkedIn member as to how did she land into a job and how did someone help her connect with her current boss, which helped her land in an opportunity. And what is she currently doing is she is helping many more like her, land into an draw a job which could be a dream job for someone, right? And how does it really happen? It all happens because your network is so powerful. This is all possible because you connect with the right network, you grow your network, and those networks, your own networks, help you get referred into one of those employers that you wish to work for, right?
And as positive as I was trying to be, nothing was happening. So I went on LinkedIn.
All right. Let's talk about how how you could essentially continue to leverage your networks. On the left side of your screen, you would see a few examples how members reach out to their networks to really seek their help, which would help them advance their career. For example, asking for informational interviews, right? How would it really help you? This would help you gain advice on your career path. This would help you learn on some of the fundamentals of being in particular job, say an XYZ job that you wish to work for. How would it help you establish a professional brand, right? So after an informational interview, professionals may also consider you for a future job opening. So which means that, again, why does this happen? This happen because in a way you're trying to network with this person, right? So for example, if let's say you go ahead and network, you want to go ahead and reach out to someone to learn about what are the best ways to prepare for an interview to land into a role such as product analyst or a business analyst or a data scientist, right? You go ahead and talk to the person, and those recommendations will actually help you improve yourself, right? Help you create your professional brand, help you improve those skills which can help you become a great data scientist at work, right? Beyond that, because you have gone ahead and leveraged your own network, so there are possibilities that the relationship that you build over this communication will essentially help you a later time in the future to land into an opportunity, because the person that you have connected with, he or she might be open to refer you to a job at his company, right? At his or her company. So again, if you see, it's all about power of networking. All we're trying to do is, uh, in the next few slides, all we're trying to do is, take few examples. Say, for example, again, here on the left, you have a particular example of uh, how would you love to request for a referral. Say, for example, you come across a particular job which is of your great interest. Say, for example, it's a digital marketing specialist job, and you're pretty excited about it because you have done a digital marketing specialization or a digital media specialization. um, so how would you go ahead and request for a referral? And you figure out that, someone, say again, someone named Vinay is a part of so and so company who is, and this so and so company is hiring for a digital marketing specialist. How would you go ahead and request for it? Be very precise about why you are interested in this specific role and what makes you so unique about this role. So you could always bring up your, again, if you go back to what I have been talking about, again, focus on your professional brand, focus on your personal brand. What is something that you would want Vinay to know about because you are so keen for the job? What is something that Vinay should learn about you that that makes him understand that you are so fit for the job, right? You could call out your skills, you could call out your customer driven mindset, right? You could call out about why are you so interested about this role? Do you have an internship experience in the past in the field of digital marketing? And that's what makes you so suitable for the role, right? Again, a very interesting fact, more than 60% of the workforce that has been referred by someone, work at their current company. So this data is very, very important for you to understand that every time you have a conversation with someone to request for a referral, one, it becomes very, very important that how do you convey your professional brand? How do you convey your interests? How do you convey your interest for the role? And how do you, really leverage on this conversation, which will help you, land into this particular role or this particular job. Requesting recommendations, very, very important. In the next few months, in the next few weeks, you all will be graduating, from your respective, graduation disciplines and trying to, get into the world of get into this professional world. Recommendations become very, very important because recommendation is nothing but it's an open note from someone who has worked with you and they are sharing a feedback about your work, about your um, about the quality of work that you bring, about your professionalism. It could be as good as calling out your strength areas, what is so unique about you, right? So who are the people, so as students, like who are the people that you could really reach out to for recommendations, right? You could reach out to your professors. You might have done certain projects under your professors. You could reach out to your mentors who have been your mentor for some of the internship experiences that you would have had, right? You could reach out to someone who is a mentor outside of your, say, outside of your college network, or outside of your professional or your internship, or whatever your professional network as such, right? You could ask your friend who has been a part of your, say, who, your friends who worked with you in the project to recommend you for a particular, say, to recommend you, on the platform. Um, these are basically the folks that you could look up to, whom you could go ahead and request recommendations, because these recommendations actually help you stand unique from, you know uh, from the rest of your, say, I would say, peers or your colleagues or from your network, right? Because recommendations are nothing but it is showing a reflection of how good you are at something, or uh, how great you are at something, which, or how creative you can be, right? So these are ways how you could go ahead and request recommendations. um Again, add value to your network, invest time, like and share things on. These are few things which you could rapidly, which you could very frequently do on the platform. Explore the platform, keep investing in yourself, keep investing in your LinkedIn profile. As I said, creating a LinkedIn profile is just not a one day affair. Every day, each day, you need to go back to your LinkedIn profile and ask yourself, right? What is something that I could include as my professional brand? What is something that I could include about my interests? What is something that I can include in my LinkedIn profile which can attract the attention of my right employer, right? What is my dream job? And what are those skills related to that dream job which I could highlight in my LinkedIn profile? Like and share things, follow people. You could join groups, right? You could give recommendations. Of course, you could continue to ask recommendations. You can also give recommendations to your colleagues, or to your former workers or peers that you continue to be connected with. So these are different ways how you could continue to use your network. All right, so let's talk about, how do you continue to search for jobs or internships on LinkedIn? The most important part of why do we, for all of the student community, I would say, especially, um, why is it so important? Why was I, stressing so much on the need to have your LinkedIn profile updated, the need to have your personal brand, the need to have your professional brand, the importance of those recommendations, because ultimately those are those are going to get you into the right set of a job that you want to work for. Those details will essentially help you, as a part of, again, with the power of your own network, you could essentially land into those right internship opportunities or those right job opportunities on LinkedIn, right? um Quick fact again, there are at 34 million plus job seekers which visit LinkedIn jobs every week. So that's the kind of workforce that, that's the kind of workforce we kind of see exploring jobs on LinkedIn. And this is a per week data. And again, this is not just specific to jobs related to LinkedIn. These are specific to jobs across all the 50 million plus employers, 550 million plus employers, right? Um, right. So let's talk about how could you use your LinkedIn profile to land into a job. Um, LinkedIn gives you an opportunity to present yourself as open to work. So if you could see the small video which is playing on the left side of the screen, this is how you could basically update your profile to say open to work, which gives employers or recruiters an opportunity to understand that you are looking for a job. And so that basically, when you do open to work, that puts a badge on your profile. So it's like a badge that comes on your profile, which helps employers understand that you're open to exploring certain jobs. You could add job titles, you could search jobs basis location. um, I will take you through the platform, and that you will get a practical understanding of how can you continue to explore jobs on LinkedIn. These are just informations that you can continue to make note of. We will talk about how can you continue to explore LinkedIn. It's not very difficult. It's very, very easy. The The interface has been created. The interface is pretty simple, and it is as simple as typing the job title and searching for it. So I will take you guys through the platform right after this section. These are the different ways how you could continue to search your career opportunities: keywords, job title, companies, locations, function, experience level. These are the different filters. We will look into it again. Just walking you through the details in the slide. Creating search alerts. Say, for example, you want to look into a role of a data scientist, right? And you want to create a job alert so that you are at pace with any of the new roles that comes up for a data scientist role. So you could go ahead and set a job alert on linkedin.com, and anytime a new employer posts a job about a data scientist as a role, you get a notification saying that this X new is a new employer which is hiring for a data scientist role. How does it help you? It helps you to be at top, while applying for the role. Now, what do I mean to be at top? See, when a job gets posted on LinkedIn, uh, for the first few days, it attracts a lot of attention. Of course, it attracts a lot of attention, which means that there are gonna be a lot of applications which will flow into the particular job. How does this job alert help you? When a job alert comes, it basically is nothing but it is an opportunity for you to be in the pool of the top 200 applicants. So how does that help you? When you are in the pool of top 200 applicants, it becomes a great opportunity for you to be amongst the top 10% of the talent pool that the employer would want to look for. And that is where these job alerts really help you. Review the jobs you are interested in. Again, look for work experience, skills, location. So these are the ways that you can continue to look into the relevant jobs. You could always follow your companies, employers that you wish to work for. For example, if your dream employer is an Amazon or a LinkedIn or a Google, you can always go to the LinkedIn page of these companies and there is an option of follow. So when you follow these companies on LinkedIn, on your feed, on your home page, you basically get the most updated, updated information about what is happening in the in this particular organization, what is going on. Are they hiring for any new roles? Are there any new products that they have released, right? So when you follow a particular employer, um, this basically gives you ample amount of information on your home feed. Another interesting fact, why do I recommend that? Because recruiters on LinkedIn can also filter specifically for candidates who are actually following the job, following this employer or following their company page. Say, for example, if I'm following the page of, say, Amazon or Flipkart or, or Google, right? So, and someone is looking to hire someone like Vinay, right? It's as simple as, going ahead and filtering out people who have been following their company page. So what happens with that? Again, it's an opportunity for you to again be in that top 10% because you're actually following the company page, right? So why lose out on such an opportunity wherein actually a recruiter can look up to your profile? Right, explore schools. If you remember, I talked about why is it so important to select your particular, while you are updating your LinkedIn profile, why is it so important to select from the drop downs? This particular information connects back with updating your LinkedIn school, updating your school on LinkedIn. When you do that, you essentially are getting into the alumni network of a particular school, right? So say, for example, if you aspire to do your master's project with Indian Institute of Sciences or say Indian Institute of Technology, any of the places, any of the tier 1 colleges, right? When you go ahead and follow these schools on LinkedIn, it gives you an opportunity to also be a part of the alumni network. When you become a part of the alumni network, further what you can do is, again, using the power of networking, power of your network, you can connect with the professors and express your interest about doing an internship or doing a project with that particular school or with that particular institute, right? And this is how you essentially, so it's the same concept. The way you were following companies previously, you could follow schools here. With schools meaning different universities, institutes, tier one institutes, it could be foreign universities that you wish to apply for. All of these are listed on the platform. I talked about the alumni network. This is what exactly this means. Considering reaching out to anyone whose career interests you for an informational interview. So think of it, you're connecting with your alumni. Your needs could be different. You want to connect with the alumni network of, say, Indian Institute of Sciences, because you want to do a particular project in data engineering, or a particular project in, say, in computer science, or in any coding, or in a coding world is really of your great interest, and you would want to kind of do your academic project or your internship with these kind of institutes. This is where your alumni network really helps you. We will talk about this a little later. I'll take a pause here, and we will see if we have any questions, and then I can go head to the platform to explain about searching jobs on linkedin.com.
Hey, cool. Vinay, would you want me to read out the questions to you?
Yes, that will be helpful.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. Vinay, there are about at least 6 questions with respect to certificates. I'll pick that up first.
Sure.
One of the things that the students want to know, or the candidates here want to know, is we have so many webinars, courses that we attend, and we collect a lot of certificates. Should we post them on LinkedIn, all the certificates that we get? First is that, as a follow-up, how relevant or how important is posting these certificates onto LinkedIn?
All right. So there are 2 ways. When you say posting a certification on LinkedIn, I believe you want to add them to your LinkedIn profile. Yes, you can always do that. But let's say my recommendation would be, or in fact, recommendation from LinkedIn is around, what are those top 3 or 4 certifications that you would want to, put up on your LinkedIn profile. Now, how do you select those top 3 or 4? It purely depends on what is your aspiration. Like if your certifications are again around data engineering, or around anything which could be very technical, say around coding, it could be around Python programming, it could be around data structure algorithms. Are you someone who has been a part of a hackathon, or you were a part of, say, or you are a part of the top 100 coder network on GitHub, or any other such network, and you have a certification, go ahead and put it up on the platform, rather than putting it all of the 10. If there are 10 certifications, categorize them. Like, what are those top 3? What are those top 2 or 3 certificates, which would really help you get into your dream job? Prioritize them, put them up on the platform. That's one. Second way to look at that is why, LinkedIn gives you an opportunity to add your skills on the platform. So relevant to your certification, how could you include those skills on your LinkedIn profile? Recruiters often use those skills-based search to filter out the right candidates. Hence, it becomes very, very important that you include those right skills on your LinkedIn profile.
Perfect, Vinay. Thanks for clarifying that, Vinay. I think some of the students that at least I have seen is randomly just populate all the certificates in one place, segmenting them and putting it up absolutely will make sense. Cool. With that, I'll just look for the next question. There's a question from a placement officer.
Okay.
His question is more around sending connection requests. His question is, why do we have limitations on sending connection requests? And what is the reasoning behind it? So that is his one question. And as a follow-up, how do we reach out to relevant people? What is the best way to reach out to relevant people using LinkedIn? So in his case, it will be reaching out to the recruiters and HRs. So this is from placement officer Sachindra, who's joined us today.
All right, cool. Thank you for that question. So I'll take the later one first. How do you reach out to the right employers? Again, recommendation is, again, when you're reaching out to an employer, include the purpose of why do you wish to connect with in the invitation box. So there, when you click, before you click on send invitation, LinkedIn will give you an option to include your message. Personalize your message. Say you want to create, be very creative. Like, what would think of it like what would really help you get a response from this particular recruiter, right? So when you're reaching out to a, say, an XYZ, recruiter or an employer, what will really help you get a response? Type in that message and hit send invitation. First question, why there is a limitation? Um, so LinkedIn, the best practices at LinkedIn says that you avoid sending random requests to anyone. That is one of the best practices which we encourage here at LinkedIn. Now, there are possibilities, and we have also seen that from our own data and market data team, basically, is that people randomly send out requests to 200 plus connections. Now, what are you actually doing that? Now, there isn't a bad thing to do that, but at the same time, think of, while you're doing those, you're sending out those 200 plus invitations, you're exhausting your invitation limits. Second, a lot of them might not even know you, and they might report saying that I do not know this person. So in a way, you're actually not creating the right brand for yourself. So the platform will flag you, basically. Why do we do that? Because at LinkedIn, it is very, very important to ensure that we respect members' privacy. We do not want you to go ahead and spam anyone. We do not want you to just send an invitation because, maybe for some XYZ reason. There should be a reason, a proper reason for you to connect with someone who is on the platform, right? And that is where we put these limitations. So hence, in a way, it's recommended that if you want to reach out to, say 100 connections, think of how these 100 connections will really help you. Of course, rather than sending out to all 100 invitations at one go, think of it, how would you want to categorize it? Maybe the first 10 would be someone you would want to network with. The next 10 would be someone you would want to learn from. The next 10 would be someone you would want to connect with and improve your, say, your interviewing or your public presence skills. Categorize them and then reach out to them.
Absolutely, Vinay. Thanks for clarifying that. Many of us assume that the LinkedIn as a platform is putting these restrictions, but it is to safeguard ourselves and also the other person.
Absolutely.
Thanks for clarifying that for sure. Okay, because we get these questions from a lot of them trying to understand why do we have limitation as a platform, right? Perfect. Thanks. I think this would clarify your question, sir. If you have any follow-up questions, do let us know. That's a question from Harsh Jain. His question is it necessary to post, share anything on your timeline on LinkedIn consistently with things regarding your interest? Or is it okay just to be silent user who does not create content or post content regularly? So just as an add-on to that, Vinay, why is it important for someone to post, or what is the reason why should someone start posting? What should they look at, or what could be the potential pros of it in case if they start continuing these kind of engagements?
Sure. Well, coming back to what I was talking in the beginning of the session, your LinkedIn profile is nothing but it is your digital representation. How are you coming across as, how do you come across as someone in your network, right? While there are no guidelines to, how frequently you should post content or whether or not you should continue to post content every day or in every alternate day or every fortnight, there aren't any such restrictions. But I would say the recommendations are more around, are your posts really relevant to your network, right? Go with a donut example. If I go ahead and post it right now, like I am a part of a lot of recruiter network, a lot of HR network, a lot of professionals that I hire for diverse backgrounds, right? Let's say I go ahead and put up a post saying, I am looking to open up a donut franchisee. Do you really think it will really make sense? No, it will not. Why? The content does not resonate with my network. Now, what do I mean by content does not resonate? There are people who are not really interested about learning about a donut business. But let's say if I go ahead and post something, say for example, I write a blog about, what are the best practices of hiring a product manager, or what are the best practices of hiring or expand or best practices of growing your talent acquisition team. What are the best hiring practices at LinkedIn. These are contents which will resonate with the larger network. Why? Because they might be solving for a similar problem. There could be like 10 other recruiters sitting in, some other firms, other employees who would be really learning, looking forward to learn or around what are those top hiring traits, what are those top hiring, the guidelines that I recommend in my blog, right? So think of it like it's not really important how frequent you post. It's more important, is the content able to resonate? Is your content getting attention of people in your network, right? So that is what I would recommend. Does that answer the question?
Harsh, I hope that answers the question in a lot of depth. If you have any follow-up, please do let us know. Vinay, so one of the things is, since we have another 15 minutes available
Sure.
with us, do we take up more questions, or do we do the session and then follow it up with questions?
Sure. We will do a quick session on exploring jobs, maybe. That wouldn't take a lot of time, and then we will maybe come back to Q&A.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
In the meanwhile, I'm just taking a second to post the feedback form. So in case anyone is available, and as a part of the session, if you want to give your feedback, you can use the feedback form to give us your feedback then. Perfect. Over to you, Vinay.
Sure. I will just put up my screen.
Vinay, on that note, one more thing is, many of them have also asked, how do we showcase that we are open to be hired? If you can, as a part
Yes,
of this, if you can
sure.
share that also.
Sure, absolutely. I'll do that. Hope you are able to see my screen. All right. Cool. So, okay, let's talk about, we'll learn about jobs, and then I'll show you guys how can you put up that open to work banner on your LinkedIn profile. So this is as simple as, you go to linkedin.com and there are different tabs. Your third tab is your jobs. So just go ahead and hit jobs. Pretty simple. No, it's not very complicated. The UI is pretty simple, kept very simple for all the customers, all the members here. Let's talk about, we talked about data scientist. So let's say I go ahead and put this as data scientist. Where do I want to search job for? I want to keep the location India. Of course, you could look, you can be very specific about locations, right? You want to get into a job, you're looking for a job in Mumbai, Pune region, you can of course enter the, particular location, because our, the audience here right now is present across the nation. So I'm rather using, India as a location. Select it. And these are the jobs that you will see on the platform. Now see, while you're seeing all these jobs, all of them might not really be relevant for you, because some of these might be a senior job. They might be asking for some bit of an industry experience. So now, while you guys are, really on right now on the verge of graduating, completing graduation, completing an internship program, and would want to really get into a job. So how do we do that? How do we filter out the right job? So here you see is all filters. So click on all filters. You see an experience level. So here you have internship and your entry level, right? I'll for the sake of understanding, because a few of you might also be looking for some internship experiences or internships right now. So we will select these two. You could also select from the companies, by the way, here, right? So let's say you particular about getting into a job at Amazon. So you could select Amazon, or say your company is not here. Say, for example, you could enter a company such as, I'm looking for a data scientist role at LinkedIn. So you could select a company and the platform will give you a recommendation, right? Or say you want a role at Flipkart. So you could also go ahead and put Flipkart. So it's not necessarily that, you will have these companies listed here, but at the same time, you can always add a company that you want to work for. Again, locations, always continue to play around with the locations. If you want to look for a job in Bangalore or Hyderabad, Mumbai, Pune, so you can always kind of, continue to, or in Delhi, you can always continue to use these location filters, and you just click on show results. Now, these are basically the different jobs that we are looking for. I have put experience as internship and entry level. Right. So if you see here, basically, so these are the jobs which you are seeing right now on the platform. All right, just a moment. We will select internship and yeah, let's see here. So if you see internal software engineer, now this is one of the jobs which is an entry level job. If you see 2+ years of software engineering, data analyst internship role is available here. You know, freshers in data science required. There is a software development engineer data platform role, which with Ola Electric Mobility as a company. Um, Again, there are data science freshers that a company is looking for. Right, so these are your different job listings. We could also try something, say, for example, let's write project manager. You could always select your entry level or your internship. So previous example, we took an example of internship. Let's go with entry level this time. Again, you can filter on the locations here. For now, I have included these metropolitans. You know, you can also include, or if you want to keep your results, you know, diverse, open, you can select India as a location. Now, see, these are the different jobs. I say, you know, project manager with media IQ. There is an agile project manager with Protegrity, with Whatfix, again with Upwork. So these are the jobs, you know, which you are seeing, and there are around 1,463 job results, right? Now, understanding that, you know, we really don't want you to kind of scroll through all 1,500 jobs, but the platform is showing you some of the jobs which are recently posted or very actively recruiting. Like these are the jobs which will continue to come here on the platform. Like for example, if you see, this is a recent posting which is around a month ago. This is a recent posting which is around a week ago, right? So these are the, you know, the different jobs which will continue to, the platform will continue to show. I talked about creating job alerts. Now here is what the job alert means. If you see this button, if you toggle it to the right, you're actually saying job alert created. Now you can always manage, click on manage alerts, and you can always manage your job alerts. Now how can you manage your job alerts? um, these are basically your recommendations that will continue to come to you. You can see the frequency here, frequency daily via email and notifications. You can always change the frequency. You can make it a weekly frequency, or if you want a daily update of these jobs, you can do that. How do you wish to get notified? You can get an email notification, you can get an only email, or an only notification. When you click on only notification, this is a notification which will come on linkedin.com profile. So basically, the notification tab here. So this is where the notification will come, right? Recommended to always select email and notifications, so that in case you miss out on the notifications, it at least there on your email to catch your attention. Now that's on the jobs front. How do you express yourself that you are looking out for a job? Very simple. Just go to your profile. Right below the number of connections, you see open to. There's an option called as open to. Click on open to. And here you see three options again. Finding a job, providing services, hiring. This is what you need to do. Finding a job, right? What does it say? Show recruiters and others that you're open to work. Now, when you do that, basically what you're trying to do is you are sending out a message, again, digitally, a message through your LinkedIn profile that you are open to exploring jobs, right? So I'm of course not doing that right now, but this is where you can go up and click on this option. And all it will do is put up a badge right here, which says open to work, which means that it will help you attract the right attention of the employers, right? For the kind of job that you're looking for. I think that's mostly around searching jobs and open to on linkedin.com. Yes, Yogi, over to you. Not able to hear you, I think.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Vinay, one of the things that they also wanted to do was, if you can show your profile, which you had mentioned earlier, right? You will show your profile. What are the different aspects that they should focus on? If you can give them like a live overview, that would really help.
Okay, sure. So this is my profile. This is a profile picture that I have put up. I talked about creating a headline of your LinkedIn profile. This is the headline that I was referring to. It's pretty short. Talent advisor at LinkedIn. So anyone who visits, who looks into my LinkedIn profile headline will understand that I am a talent advisor currently working at LinkedIn. What am I working for? I am hiring product leaders. So I'm hiring for different product leaders right now. And as I mentioned, I am a Rock Your Profile ambassador, which means I continue to, host many such webinars or LinkedIn coach sessions such as this one. Next is this about summary. So this is basically the summary that I was referring to. And if you see, I have what continues to inspire you beyond recruiting. I am happy to connect over virtual tea or a coffee. Now, this is where I represent, I kind of, I try and keep it very casual and not very formal types, because you can always choose to customize this yourself. I'm a social media enthusiast, active Quora contributor. What is my what are the values that represent me? So these are some of the values which I feel I resonate with the most. These are my individual values, I would say. And that is what I have called out on the platform. What are my personal interests? So this is nothing but a summary. If you see, I have kept it pretty brief, very brief about myself. At the same time, I'm not bringing out a lot of information, because um, not everyone might be okay kind of reading a very, very long summary about someone's profile. And this is your experience section. This is your professional summary section. This is my current experience. This is my past experience. All these are my past experience. Education, most important part. Please do not miss out while you're updating a LinkedIn profile. This is what I was referring to. When you are calling out when you're mentioning your educational university, your your college, always prefer the drop down that LinkedIn recommends you. So right now, if you see, this is a Vishwesvaraya Technological University. So that's the LinkedIn. So if I click here, I will be taken by LinkedIn to the Vishwesvaraya Technological University page on LinkedIn, right? And plus, I am also following this, which means that while I continue to be a part of the alumni network of VTU, I am also following the latest whatever is happening related to VTU. Which means that if there are 10 other people posting anything about VTU, I always continue to get updated information about what is happening about VTU, right? So it becomes very, very important that you link your particular university on the LinkedIn profile. Yeah, and these are your certifications. Someone asked about, whether or not you should include your certifications. Again, these are certain certifications from the learning courses that I have done in the recent past. So those kind of continue to be on my LinkedIn profile. Skills and endorsement. You can always you can put as good as up to 50 skills on your LinkedIn profile at one time. So there are 50 skills that you can put up to on your LinkedIn profile at any given point of time. And you can also get endorsements from your network against those skills, right? And these are your recommendations. So if you see, these are some of the recommendations I have received from the folks in my network. You can always continue to reach out to the people whom you have worked with in the past, who have been your mentors, or who have been your professors, and you can ask them for recommendations. These are your accomplishments, honors, awards. These are as a part of my professional journey over the last few years. You can include your academic accomplishments. If you have been a part of any coding society, if you have been a part of any hackathon fest, go ahead and put that. It's always a good practice to do that. And yeah, so these are the different sections of your LinkedIn profile which I would recommend keeping updated.
Awesome, Vinay. Thanks for that. Vinay, there are two questions that
Sure.
I think would actually make sense for students also to understand. When you reach out to people, there are multiple ways for you to reach out, right? One is you can send them a connect request. Second one is you can send them an email or a message. And lastly, there is an option where you can obviously comment, and there is a follow option, right? So the student is asking, what is the difference between connect and follow? If you can throw light on that, and also tell them about what are the, if they choose a specific connection mode, what is, I know you've touched upon it briefly earlier. If you can give them, if they have to reach out to you, what is the specific things that they can put in a message so that they can reach out to recruiters or hiring managers?
Sure. So see, basically, you will come across certain profiles wherein you will see a follow button rather than a connect button. It is purely a user who has customized it for himself or for herself, rather than, so he or she would have kept the follow button open than a connect button. So that doesn't really mean that you cannot go ahead and connect with that. When you click on more option, there will be a connect under the drop down. So you can definitely go ahead and send out a connect. The reason to kind of do follow is maybe to improve or increase the follower base. So it's purely up to an individual, how he or she would want to kind of customize or open their LinkedIn profile to the outside network. Well, what is the right way to connect with someone? I would say include a personalized message. Always do that. Before you go ahead and hit a send invitation option, include a personalized message. It need not be a very lengthy message. It need not be, I would say, keep it very precise, keep it very specific to why do you want to, connect with someone. Like, say, for example, if you want to connect with me, like, what is something that outside, let's say, post this session, if you want to connect with me, right? Just go ahead and write, say, hey, when I attended your session and I loved the insight that you brought up. I would love to be a part of your network. Go ahead and send an invitation. Gives me an opportunity to know that, okay, you were one of the listener in the conversation. Maybe I haven't had an opportunity to interact with you or answer your question because of the time limit, but I know that you were a listener in the conversation, right? So it gives an opportunity to the receiver to understand as to why do you want to connect. So it's more about how do you want to call out the intent of connecting with someone.
Thanks. Vinay, are you able to hear me? Sorry.
I can hear you.
Perfect, cool. So that is absolutely like a very important thing, right? Without personalization, I have at least noticed a lot of people just send you connect request. And most of the times, okay, just to add one more thing, anyone in LinkedIn can have a maximum of 30,000 friends or connections in your network. Yes. That is a limitation in terms of that, right? That is one of the reasons normally most professionals try to create the follow button, in which case you can still follow them, you can still engage with whatever they are posting, but you will not be on their friends list. That's it, because they have a limitation. They've crossed that limitation already. That's
yes, that's correct. Yes. So
that,
if you see 30,000 again is a pretty big network again,
absolutely.
Right? So like from an individual perspective, like right now, I believe I have around close to 10,000 connections, which I recently reached in about my close to 10 years of journey. So all I'm trying to make a point here is that instead of rapidly going ahead and randomly sending out requests, be very focused, be very channelized in your approach, be very selective in your approach, I would say.
Absolutely. And one more thing, guys, when Vinay told you, right, you can write to him, please mention what did you learn, what was important to you that you picked, rather than sending a generic message to Vinay when you reach out to him, right? The reason is he will get a lot of such messages. So you need to stand out. So make sure you write points that will attract him to accept your request. That's another thing that you need to look for. Okay, with that, I'll pick up just 2 more questions, Vinay, sure, just to give them a lot more insights, right? This question pops up a lot, especially when students are looking for opportunities. So a lot of students want to do internships abroad or companies abroad. So LinkedIn does offer that opportunity. So they want to know, being in India, what is the best way to explore opportunities outside of India, and how do we position ourselves to be able to capture those opportunities?
Sure. Good question, I would say. Again, start with the basics. Follow. I'm sure you would, when you're looking forward to kind of, let's say, do your internship or your masters from the universities abroad, you will have a list of your preferred colleges that you want to land up. Let's say the top 5 or the top 10s in your list, and these could be, these lists could vary accordingly. First thing, get to the platform to see if you following these schools, right? If not, go ahead and do that. Second, explore the alumni network. From your alumni network, see if you have someone from your alumni network who are currently a part of this university, or who has graduated from this university in the last couple of years, or in the last 5 or 10 years, or whatever number of years, and are they somewhere somehow a part of your network? If yes, reach out to them. Again, when you reach out to them, include your message, right? Why do you want to connect with them, right? Very, very important. Be very, 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 very precise in your message, very, very particular about, why do you wish to connect with them. Just include that message, connect with them, try and learn about, what are few things that you should do to land into an opportunity or into an internship with these universities. Or let's say to learn around, what are the say, what how could you basically land into this opportunity, these universities, basically what are those, say, are there any competitive exams that you should write for? Are there any additional exams that you should qualify for to get into this internship with these universities, right? um, a lot of these universities, which will also include their academic or placement department details, the emails will be included, the email contacts will be included. Explore those, right? Reach out to them, like write them emails. So these are the ways how you could continue to, I would say, look up to ways to explore the internship or opportunities with these universities.
Thanks for that, Vinay. Folks, please go start using the network that's available on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is super exhaustive. Any company, any university, any professor that you want to work under, or intern under, or research under, LinkedIn provides you easy access to connect with them. So try to effectively use it based on whatever principles that Vinay has taught you. Trust me, me and Avesh have also used LinkedIn to our extent. I've got my recent positions and opportunities thanks to LinkedIn. That is one of our interns who works with me at Canva. She reached out to me over LinkedIn to get this opportunity. So please don't miss out using LinkedIn and leveraging LinkedIn.
In
With
fact, we
that,
reached out to Vinay on LinkedIn only.
yeah,
Yes,
absolutely right. So, Vinay, there is this one question that always the students think about, right? This is with respect to LinkedIn Premium. So, do you think having a LinkedIn Premium account helps students? If yes, how does it help? As professionals, I'm sure I use LinkedIn Premium. Avesh uses LinkedIn Premium. There are a lot of others in the network who use. As a student, how can they effectively use it in case they choose to take it up? That's the
sure,
two questions on that, Vinay.
absolutely. All right, so there are different offerings that a LinkedIn Premium can give you. One of the top few offerings are your, it gives you one free access to LinkedIn Learning. So your premium essentially also opens you to avail LinkedIn Learning courses, right? So you can learn like on so many different skills courses. There are like n number of relevant courses, not just technical or non-technical. There are a lot of courses which can help you improve your soft skills, which can help you improve your public speaking abilities, which can help you improve your presentation ability, which can in fact help you improve your personal brand. So there are those courses which are included on LinkedIn Learning. Second, there is a feature called as resume builder. So that helps you build your resume. So that's one of the offering which Premium has. Outside of that, I remember someone asked about sending out emails. So a Premium helps you, gives you an opportunity to send out 15 emails every month. So you could send up to 15 emails to someone, let's say, who is a part of your second degree connection or your third degree connection. And say for some reason you have sent out an invitation, but the person has not acknowledged, right? You can go ahead and directly write them an email. So that is where your email opportunity comes in. I personally feel in these times wherein we are actually living, India is a very mobile first market. Like anything that happens on mobile. Like there are more users of LinkedIn on mobile than someone would really want to use it on a web browser. And all you could do is, and so everything is basically right in your hand, right? Right at your fingerprints, finger steps, right? So I would say for any student, it's a great opportunity. It's a great resource to use for. And LinkedIn, the first month is a free option. So LinkedIn Premium gives you a first free month trial. So what we are saying is that before you choose to invest in the product, go ahead and give it a shot. If you find it useful, of course, do come back and invest into it. If not, of course, there are other ways to kind of continue to explore about LinkedIn.
Absolutely. On that note, there is one more thing very specific or special about LinkedIn Premium. What it also does is it also gives you insights of other people who have applied for the job, and you will know where you stand in the race. For example, you are interested in an opportunity, it'll tell you, are you in the top 10%, top 30%, or top 50%? And what skills are missing? Who are the other people that you can reach out to? A lot of other information that comes up in LinkedIn Premium. In case you enjoy that, please do check that out. There's a 30-day trial. Again, I would recommend you to do it when you're really serious. Take the trial when you're really serious about your job search or internship search, because the 30 days, trust me, you will be able to derive a lot of value out of it. So don't miss that. So along with that, one is there are two resources that Vinay has opened up for today. So one of the things is there is one guide that he is sharing with all of you today on getting hired for top jobs in various cities. That is one. And also there is a course by LinkedIn which Vinay is opening up for all the attendees today, for which is going to be like a gift from his end, or like a free resource that he's offering you, which is learning LinkedIn for students in 2021, and how can you leverage the power of LinkedIn in a micro course that the team at LinkedIn has built. Of course, that's going to be one of the best. But before that, trust me, what you have learned today from direct from Vinay is a lot more imperative that you go back and put it to practice. It's not just about learning. At the end of the day, you'll have to go back and put it to use to grab those opportunities. So I'm quickly sharing those links. Avesh, is it possible for you to directly post it on the chat, and then we will follow it up on the email also? Those two links here.
Sure, Yogi, I will just do that.
I'm not able to copy it here. Sorry about that, man. Cool. With that, we come to the end of this session. Vinay, first and foremost, thanks a lot on behalf of Confederation of Indian Industries, Young Indians, and all our other partners for taking time out on a weekend, and coming and taking this session in the evening and enlightening us with all this tidbits and nuggets about LinkedIn and how we can actually leverage LinkedIn for this. Thanks a lot, Vinay. Thanks for your time.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it.
I'm delighted.